So let's take a look at the Easy Equities tail of the tape. Elvis Ngwalangwala is 3 years older. He gives up a 3-inch height advantage. It was 1 pound lighter at weigh-ins yesterday, and it's just a 0.4-inch reach difference between the two athletes. So kickstart your investment journey with Easy Equities. There's no monthly costs, there's no minimums, and it's easy. It's so easy. Visit easyequities.co.za now. Let's make way for the fighter introductions now and send it up to Cyrus Fees.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3 rounds in the EFC lightweight division. Introducing first, the fighter in the red corner. He is a K1 specialist, coming in with a record of 1 win and 1 defeat. Standing 6 foot tall, weighing in at 154 pounds. Fighting out of Johannesburg, South Africa, Rocky Commander Man Ilunga. And now his opponent, standing across the hex, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a Muay Thai specialist with a record of 1 win and 1 defeat. Standing 5 foot 7 inches tall, weighing in at 153 pounds. Fighting out of Johannesburg, South Africa, Elvis Ngwalangwala. Your referee, when the action begins, is Vika Swart.
Oh, Hexagon girl Ali joining us here in Carnival City, Johannesburg this evening. Of course, RDG is ISO 9001 certified by the SABS for all the repair of all types of automotive drivetrain components available in South Africa. That's all the ones available in South Africa.
All of them.
All of them. Automatic and manual.
Fantastic. Here we go, Elvis Ngwalangwala. He's the animal looking to be unleashed onto the Commander Man, Rocky Ilunga. What a matchup here at EFC 79. Vika Swart gets started. Round 1 brought to you by our friends at Dragon Energy Drink, specifically designed to maximize mental and physical performance. In the blue and the gray, that is Elvis Ngwalangwala. In the black and the red, the Commander Man.
Almost immediately you see that patented Ilunga question mark kick coming straight out. Look for those flashy kicks.
Oh, yeah, it's something you got to love, and they have resulted in some brutal knockouts over the history here in EFC.
Would be interesting to see if it goes to ground, so I was talking about expecting a bit of a fist fight. But if it goes to ground, we know with the Alberton wrestling background Ngwalangwala has at the moment, and also with Ilunga, we've got the fantastic BJJ coaching of Richard Kwan.
What a potential star that we have on our hands here in Rocky Ilunga, especially when you've seen what Elaine has done, and even learning from the mistakes that maybe Elaine made early in his career. Rocky Ilunga has been able to watch that and maybe learn from those mistakes and polish up his game even more. It's so interesting that Elaine said he would actually go to welterweight if Rocky was to make his way up this lightweight division.
Oh, there's a cracking left as well.
Right hand down the pipe.
Both lads exchanging with a lot of mean intent. But yeah, you're right. It's some of the mistakes that Elaine made early in his career was trying to fix those holes as a kickboxer you have with the MMA stance and looking at laying yourself vulnerable for the takedowns with such a variety of kicking attacks. And that's something that Ngwalangwala would definitely have studied the tape with Commander Man.
A little bit longer and lankier than Elaine Ilunga, but still with that same nasty power.
Yeah, it's not just your range, it's the ability to close that distance quickly, because it's only a 3-inch height advantage that Commander Man Ilunga enjoys over Ngwalangwala, but he makes the most of it because he's such a good rangy kicking attack. But patience from Ngwalangwala, though. Very wary of that striking prowess of Ilunga.
No, he looks very comfortable in there. He is being patient indeed, and he knows if he can close the distance, then he may have an advantage here on the Commander Man. That's not going to be easy to do. He may have to eat a few shots to do that. Spin kick, that looks like something you'd see from one of the Ilungas, and you see it from Ngwalangwala. Fancy kicks here from both fighters. This is the type of fight that people love to see here in the EFC.
So he does have a submission win on his record, as he does in Ngwalangwala. And it was Elaine's last loss. In fact, his last fight was to Marcel Else, which was a submission loss as a rear naked in the first round. So if Ngwalangwala's team have done their homework, they know that there's a bit of holes in the ground game of Ilunga. That would probably be his bread and butter.
That one caught him.
Right, nice right high.
Right high kick from Rocky Ilunga that he can snap out there oh so quickly. Crisp striking here. Oh, and a nice switch kick. He hits his own right head kick, does Ngwalangwala, and he's getting comfortable in there.
Sometimes it's a nice wavering Jeet Kune Do stance, very similar to Bruce Lee, has Ilunga sometimes. It's very open-handed guard.
It worked for Bruce Lee.
Worked very well. So that old Sanshu Chinese boxing stance is a cracker. You don't see it as often as you should, actually.
EFC 79 here from the Big Top Arena, Carnival City in Johannesburg.
Not a huge amount of commitment. We saw a really nice flurry early in the first round, but there's not a massive amount of commitment from both athletes. They're obviously aware of each other's knockout power, and that range issue becoming very difficult for both
they're
fighters.
Really canceling each other out right now. I mean, they just seem to be on the same level. I think maybe we give Rocky Ilunga the nod just because of his lineage and being the brother of Elaine Ilunga and a nice, extensive amateur background. But Elvis Ngwalangwala, I think, is really impressing so far. He's getting comfortable, and he's really throwing all the same kicks that we're seeing from Ilunga.
Yeah, he's put up his guard. He's moved out of the way very nicely right there.
Well, he had a big opportunity, and he missed on it. He was just about 1 second too late on that counter punch.
But it was a good adjustment of distance and moving away from Ilunga's power right hand.
Couple southpaws here in the middle of the hex. Everybody waiting with bated breath to find out when Elaine Ilunga is going to get that title shot. I think a lot of people want to see that.
Yeah, that's overdue.
It's on a seven fight streak right now.
It's ridiculous, and such an entertaining fighter. Very difficult, a lot of pressure on a younger brother to perform the same level as
And now here we go. Now we see the clinch, and Rocky Ilunga looking strong, and there's a guillotine. How deep is it? Doesn't look very deep. He gets out. Well done by Rocky Ilunga, and now we'll see the ground game. And when you have two entertaining strikers, very capable strikers, usually it is the ground game, the clinch game that makes the difference. And that'll be the end of round number one as Rocky Ilunga ends the round on top. Got to wonder if we're going to see a little bit more of that in round number two and going forward. Restonic giving us the corner cam here as Richard Kwan speaks to his fighter, and he gets some tutelage from his brother and Tupanga Trezor.
Of course, a very well-timed takedown with 15 seconds left in the first round. It would have been a rather cagey round on the striking. So in the judges' eyes, that takedown with the last 15 seconds to go in the round might be everything.
How appropriate that it would be cagey, by the way. And folks, you know, to get all your news and updates here with EFC, you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and of course follow us on Instagram. That'll get you right in touch with us, get the conversation going, and use hashtag EFC79 whenever you're watching this great program.
Tell us how much you dislike Cyrus's very cagey, cheesy jokes, for example, on Instagram at EFC Worldwide.
Come on, you give them way more ammunition than I do.
It takes one to know one, I agree.
So here we go. Let's get back to the action here. Already been an incredibly entertaining fight, and it's only been one round. Ngwalangwala and Ilunga.
Let's go.
Now, you're right, Elvis did very well in that first round. He wasn't persuaded by Elaine's attacking.
No, not at all.
He stood well in the striking.
Not intimidated whatsoever, Elvis Ngwalangwala.
Takes the leg kick, checks it, and then goes to the body. It's nice. He's got a nice little fake. He's keeping Ilunga guessing. And then you've got Elaine Ilunga sparring with the likes of UFC fighter Don Madge and the great Muay Thai training of Richard Kwan. You know that the guys he's sparring with at Apex at Coach Kwan University are, you know, at such a high level now in South African MMA that, you know, he's completely prepared for this. It's been a while since his last fight was June last year. So yeah, he's the real deal.
No, I gotta agree with you. And I'll say this, listen, Elvis Ngwalangwala, he's kind of been a little disappointing here since he's debuted with the EFC, and I think a lot of that has to do with being in the wrong division.
Exactly.
I think this is such a good place for him here in the lightweight division. He looks strong, he looks quick. This is where he needs to be. Oh, and a flurry from Ngwalangwala, and he connected on at least one of those. Rocky Ilunga, that might light a fire under him. You got to wonder if Elaine Ilunga in the corner was telling him to be more aggressive, get more into it.
Yeah, Elvis wants to close it. He wants to have a dirty fight of it, but Ilunga, as a kickboxer, wants to keep the range at a safe level. But yeah, Ngwalangwala, I mean, he must have been such a small middleweight. And to think that he was fighting at middleweight and winning. you know, it's a hell of a testament.
Combo.
Oh, it was a nice hit. Puts him down, but it's more of a trip than anything else. Absolutely fine.
Look how quick he snapped right back up, though. Elvis quickly getting back up and connecting on the counter. This has to be a little bit surprising here for Ilunga because Elvis is super comfortable in there and moving very fluid with his strikes.
It's a nice inside leg kick from Elvis there. It can start to irritate Ilunga, but I saw that Ilunga was actually kind of faking the single leg takedown and coming back up. Perhaps that means the game plan. Soften up with the kicks, then fake the takedown, kick, then fake the kick, and go for the takedown, take his opponent to the ground.
Wow, and now we get right into the middle of it. Now they're going to clinch up. Who's going to have the advantage here? And they separate and go right back down to throwing.
Ilunga tried the right hook on the separation, but Elvis was wise to it. Both are scrambling, very quick, athletic middle lightweights.
You got to wonder, I mean, obviously we know the pedigree of Richard Kwan. Nice right head kick, by the way. And he's a guy that always puts more of a strategy into it, really likes to utilize the ground game. But I'd say you probably just throw that strategy out the window with Rocky Ilunga. Seems like he's going to fight his fight no matter what.
Yeah, Richard Kwan is a guy, he just sees MMA as like the ultimate chess game between human individuals. It's a physical chess game, and you have so many strategies, whether it be the ground, the jiu-jitsu, the boxing, the wrestling, the hex, the clinch, everything. But you could be right. He could just say to Ilunga, just kick him.
It seems like it's just now clicking with the lane, and how many fights is he in now? Now It seems like he is working more of a strategy, a game plan, instead of just attacking, and it's working out very, very well for him. So you got to wonder if Rocky Ilunga's in that same ballpark. 90 seconds left here in round number 2 as Elvis Ngwalangwala stands toe-to-toe with Rocky Ilunga in the middle of the hex.
He tried the jumping teep kick, was nowhere near his opponent to actually land it anyway. So again, we're going back to another cagey middle segment of the second round like we did with the first, but this could be ending at any moment. Both lads have knocked out opponents left, right and centre in the past. That nice left roundhouse from Ilunga we saw at the beginning of the second round was a cracker. If that connects, it's all over, and it's good night, Elvis.
Looking for his spot here is Elvis. Rocky Ilunga continues to put some pressure on the king.
Yeah, it's having difficulty closing the distance. He knows he's going to getting caught with that short right when he's coming in. So Elvis is still very, very tentative. So he's always looking for the counter. He's been successful in that.
Oh, there's a right hand right across the jaw from Ngwalangwala. Great counter. He has given Rocky Ilunga all he can handle.
Yeah, Ilunga's got to make sure when he comes in with that kicking range attack, he's got to make sure that his blows are landing, because Ngwalangwala is just hitting him off every single counter he can get.
I feel like if Elvis wins, he has to be deemed the king instead of the animal. What do you think?
That's great.
Can we roll with it?
You can use that.
Nice kick to the body by Ngwalangwala. Notice, though, it just seems like impervious to pain. He does not take much damage, Rocky Ilunga. The guy's absolutely shredded. He's in great shape. He has not slowed down one bit. Now we go into the clinch, with just a few seconds to go.
Tries the takedown at the end around just like he did with first, but this time Ngwalangwala was wise to the fact, defended it and clinched up against the hex.
Well, you can't blink with these two. I mean, it is all happening so quick, so many strikes being thrown out, and they are not taking their time, trying to establish the timing. They are just going after each other tooth and nail.
Yeah, what's so interesting, you talk about how cagey it is, but it really is. We refer to it as a chess match, and it really is. We know that Ngwalangwala's got a very strong Muay Thai background, and Ilunga's coming from the K1 Dutch kickboxing style before he moved into MMA full-time. So it is a very negating situation on the stand-up, which is why it's kind of interesting to see Ilunga go for the takedowns at every single round. I'd like to see him fake the takedown with the kick, soften his opponent up, straight down.
Can we pause and say hi to Ellie?
And Naomi.
Yeah, fantastic. Our RGG Hexagon girls. Sorry to cut you off, but I mean, some things just deserve to be cut off. I mean, that was just, I saw that.
Some things deserve to be cut off. I ain't going there, man. You're trying to suck me into something I don't want to do. Round 3 in this fantastic lightweight bout.
Here he is, Rocky Ilunga with one finger up. He feels confident going into the final round. And Elvis Ngwalangwala. Here we go, folks. Round 3 brought to you by Dragon Energy Drink, official energy drink of the EFC.
Who wants to move up that lightweight ladder? 1 win, 1 loss. Both gentlemen's records exactly identical. Oh, the nice spinning elbow that Ngwalangwala caught Ilunga with as he clinched up.
And now looking for a trip. He's going to try to bring him down to the ground, get a hook in. Just does not look real comfortable with it, but he is working it.
Good defense by Ngwalangwala. They turned around the right way into his opponent. Defended the back attack nicely. It was very difficult for Ilunga to come around the back of
Sizing up that elbow, too. Look at him. He's trying to land that elbow in the clinch.
Referee Bickerswap looking very careful.
There it is. He was asking for the elbow. His corner was, and he landed it right on the ear, and he may have drawn blood. And now the scramble. Rocky Ilunga on top in north-south position.
That was a very good scramble by Elvis. Very unfortunate to land in the wrong position here into north-south. But there was a nice scramble from both gentlemen, but Ilunga kept his wits about him and kept calm. And he's just going to look for a limb and see if he can come. He's got a decent armbar, has Rocky Ilunga.
We talked about this could be separating these two fighters is the ground game. Whoever has the better ground game and the better grappling expertise may be the one that comes out with the win. Rocky Ilunga is in a great position right now to transition into a submission attempt.
This corner, Richie Kwan, Pupanga Tresor, his brother, all screaming out to him. Probably just trying to isolate the arm, soften up on the torso, and then swing your right leg over and go for the armbar.
Well, he's landing elbows on the inside there, and that's what his corner is actually calling for, are those elbows, those short little elbows inside the guard. Nice moves by Rocky Ilunga, looking like a vet out there. 3 minutes to go here in round 3, and here comes Elvis. He's going to scramble, not able to get the hooks in. Elvis trying to get out of the grips.
Rocky then trying to go for the back again, but still no dice around the back of the hex. Ngwalangwala did very well with his feet up against the hex. He kept himself there for quite some time, wondering why he didn't push off the hexagon. He knew that he was able to turn in and scramble up to his feet. Defending very well, much better position than before. That was a tough position for Tapini. He was taking some serious blows to the side of the head.
I'll tell you, if this thing is to go the distance, it's going to be a tough one to judge because these have been razor close rounds all the way through. It's going to come down to who had the more significant strikes, who had more control. Even that being said, I don't know who it would go to.
The third is definitely Ilunga, isn't it, at the moment, for that period of dominance they had on the ground.
But Ngwalangwala could steal it back right now. He still has 2 minutes to steal this one back. But it doesn't look like he can get out of the grips of Rocky Ilunga.
It's good clinch work from Ilunga. He's very strong up against the hex. Imagine that, 2 minutes left in the third round, and he's still got the cardio to keep pushing a man up against the hex like that, particularly with that K1 background. So strong in the clinch, Ilunga. Just softening up his opponent. Ngwalangwala needs to circle away. He needs to go off the hex and reverse positions and get the underhook and turn his opponent round.
Yeah, you got to believe
his points back.
He's saving up for a burst of energy here, and he's going to have to make an attempt to get out of there. Rocky Ilunga swings him right to the ground and out into half guard. And good luck getting out of that. He's going to have to use his back and try to back his way up the hexagon. Because otherwise, you can tell the pressure that's being put on Elvis Ngwalangwala right now in half guard. Got him all tied up, and he's got a minute to try to Houdini his way out of there.
Yeah, it's a tough position to get out of, isn't it? Particularly when you're trying to control your opponent's torso, and he's just macking away into your ribs and just softening up your middle torso. It doesn't matter if you're controlling your opponent's torso. If he's winging hooks into you, you've got to think of something else to escape. That's not going to work. Saying that, we know how difficult it is, but having a guy, even a lightweight like Rocky Ilunga on top of you, giving you no space to breathe whatsoever. You look at this right now and think, oh, he hasn't got a submission available. I tell you, he is crushing the air out of his lungs right now.
If you're claustrophobic, you don't want to get in there and mess around because he is suffocating him right now in the corner. 30 seconds left in this fight as Rocky Ilunga
looking over to his team,
sealing up his round right now. Here comes the grounded pound. Not able.
His corner want him to finish and finish strong, just so that he leaves that opinion, the impression in the judge's mind. I don't think he needs to do that. I think he's probably clinched it. We've only got 10 seconds left in the round, but he's scored enough significant strikes in this round to certainly take the fight in my mind.
It's going to be a close one, Simon. One thing we can tell you is ending up on top with all the momentum at the end of this fight is the command of man, Rocky Ilunga. Did he do enough? Elvis Ngwalangwala gave him a fight. Tough fight between these two. gave each other all they could handle. Now the sportsmanship, hugging it out in the middle of the hex, something we always appreciate here in the EFC. And, you know, two guys that have, in this fight, in my opinion, shown us that they belong in this lightweight division. And there's a lot of guys in this division that are going to have trouble with Elvis Ngwalangwala and Rocky Ilunga.
Yeah, especially this only their third fight each in the EFC, and they negate each other and cancel each other's game plan and ability to such an extent. I mean, a lot of people were saying it was a stalemate. For me, that was a fist fight of note. For those first 2 rounds, it really was a gunfight at high dawn, wasn't it? It was blazing saddles all the way, and that's what we love to see. And it's a prelim fight. The two really relative youngsters who put on a show like that.
I
with
thought
that
we were
kind of
saving
ability.
all the Western references for Carlos Saputo. Are we doing them now?
No, we can do it now.
There's always room for him. Elvis Ngwalangwala getting congratulated by the corners of his opponent. And there's a whole lot of camaraderie going on inside of the hexagon right now, because you had 2 men that went toe-to-toe the entire fight. Just a great back-and-forth battle between Ilunga and Ngwalangwala. Here's your Restonic action replay.
Some devastating kicks from Ilunga in those first 2 rounds. And Ngwalangwala gave as good as he got. He judged the distance very, very well and was looking to strike off the counters, off the kicking attack of Rocky Ilunga. But it was really a tale of the actual takedowns that Ilunga was able to create the distance and take the takedown. In that 3rd round, there was a period of dominance where there's some nasty ground and pound coming down, some absolutely vicious elbows, but all completely legal. But man, he showed some beautiful ground and pound.
And they were hard to see, but they were really getting in there underneath the guard. As you can see, there was that takedown right at the end. And Rocky Ilunga showing he has a very, very well-rounded skill set now, and that makes him that much more dangerous. But did he get the win? The decision on its way.
Yeah, great show of respect from both fighters, as you'd expect. But this is what I like about the prelim fights at the EFC. You've got small camps like Raw MMA, from which Elvis Animal Ngwalangwala is coming out of here in Alberton and Johannesburg on the East Rand. And you've got these small camps that are starting to breed some really superb fighters. To go up against a K1 fighter of Rocky Ilunga's pedigree and put on a 3-round and obviously get a decision win after 3 fantastic rounds. It's just a testament to the growth of these small clubs that are popping up all throughout South Africa. So let's, without further ado, hear what the judges have to say. If they agree with me or not, let's send it up to Cyrus Fees.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges scored this contest 29-28, 29-28, and 29-28. All for your winner by unanimous decision. In the red corner, the Commander Man, Rocky Ilunga.
I'm here with your winner, Rocky. Rocky, wow, 3 fantastic rounds. He was a tough opponent. Did he surprise you?
Yeah, I can say only thank you to God. Thank you, EFC. Rich, thank you so much. Trezor, I love you, thank you. Ellen Kupanga, Ellen, thank you. Thank you, us. You come support me, thank you. Thank you so much, thank you. I want to show everyone who I am in the cage. I'm ready for next. Come on!
Just one more question with you then. What is next for you? You're staying at lightweight at Coach Kwan University. What do you want next? You alluded to it just now. Tell me specifically what you want.
Anyone.
Anyone. Well, you heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner, Rocky Commander Man Ilunga.